evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us this evening. We are so excited to have you and looking forward to an engaging session where we get to equip ourselves with tools and skills and knowledge of how we can maneuver in the new normal. This webinar is brought to you by Atara Solutions. My name is Grace Nzula. I am a trainer and HR consultant with Atara Solutions and a manager at Panessa Training Institute. Atara Solutions is an HR consulting and training company that provides total HR solutions to employers and employees. We also provide training services in HR, sales, and soft skills. For more information, kindly email us on info@atarasolutions.co.ke. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a platform that seeks to demystify issues to do with entrepreneurship and employment. We do this in partnership with the Lego Academy, a software development and capacity building academy. So if you're looking to hone your ICT skills, if you're looking to learn things like software development, or you're actually looking for softwares for your organizations, Eric is the person to speak to, or rather Zalego, and you can get in touch with him through eric@zalego.com, eric@zalego, zalego.com, and he'll be able to sort you out in terms of softwares or training in the ICT field. Congratulations to our winners from last week. We have Jacinta Kisungi. Jacinta Kisungi, kindly get in touch with me if you're online. We would like to discuss with you on how you can get your prize, claim your prize. We have Christine. Christine won a gift hamper from Soilex, and she already picked her gift. So you can check out Atara Solutions social media. She's there receiving her gift pack from Soilex. Soilex is an organization that provides total cleaning solutions. Therefore, your detergents, your stain removers, your machines, your automatic sanitizer dispensers, among other things. So Christine was able to collect hers. We also had Joseph Miner, who again won a gift hamper from Soilex. Joseph Miner, please get in touch with Jai of Silex and be able to claim your prize. We have Donna Karaoke, who won a cake from Capriccio Pastries. Capriccio, you can get in touch with them from their Instagram. So Donna, congratulations. It was also her birthday month, so she had fun enjoying her cake. And then we have Catherine and Charity. Catherine, please get in touch with me on your giveaway from Good Fortune Greens. Charity, I know you spoke to me, so we will organize for how you're going to claim your prize. Whitney Joy, I think this is your last call. I think today, Eric, if you allow me, we are going to take away the gift from Whitney Joy because she hasn't gotten in touch with us. And then probably we will need to give that gift to someone else. This is an offer from Sorel Laundry, who offered to clean their duvets for free. So Sorel Laundry is cleaning the duvets for Whitney Joy and Lois Mongai. I know Lois, they've gotten in touch. So Whitney Joy has not contacted me, and therefore I'm not able to link them together. And then we had Regina Mutuko, who won a gift hamper from Tanu's Kitchen. And I know they've organized for a delivery next week because last week one of them was out of town, and this week the other one is out of town. Kabara Jane, you won a gift hamper from Pearl Radio. Please get in touch with me. Evans Kiprotich and Joseph Karoma won gift hampers from Balcon Housing. And at least those ones have been in touch with us and they're organizing for pickup. So if you might be our lucky winner today, these giveaways are for you. And we'll keep giving them and celebrating life and saying thank you to you, our audience. So our partners in November are Serenity Studios, who have been doing our videos. You can check them out on Instagram and Facebook. They have a beautiful, beautiful offer for expectant moms. They have also started doing Christmas t-shirts. I mean, corporate t-shirts, printing and all that. So you check them out on Instagram, or you can reach them out. I mean, you can reach out to them from Instagram or on Facebook. We have Pearl Radio, 96.9 FM in Nairobi, a Christian radio station, who have a gift hamper for our audience. I was a guest at Pearl Radio a week ago, which we had so much fun handling HR issues. We have Good Fortune Greens in Nanyuki, a green grocery shop, which has given us a grocery basket for Christine and Charity. So we will organize for delivery for that. So today, what's up for grabs is JC Beauty, who is offering a gift hamper She's actually launched her own brand, and we are so excited. Congratulations, JC. She deals with natural hair and beauty products. We have Wild International, who have offered a free Scalarizer class. Scalarizer is a flagship program developed for over 15 years that enables entrepreneurs to identify the principles of becoming profitable in businesses. We all know that sometimes we run businesses and we are not making money. We are all getting cost and cost and cost, and you're wondering, why do I work this hard and I have nothing to show for it? So the Scalarizer program is actually meant to scale or equip you with ways into how you can make your business more profitable. They actually run with you on a mentorship program where within the time you can get a one-to-one coaching and all that. So we have Balcon Housing, a real estate company. They're in the business of buying and selling land and real estate in Nairobi. And again, two of our viewers were able, two of our audience were able to walk away with gift hampers from them. And obviously, I spoke about Capriccio Pastries, who run a cake shop. You can check them out on Instagram at Capriccio_T_T. Underscore. So tonight, as promised, some of you will get a chance to walk away with some gift hampers. This is our 23rd webinar. And being the 23rd webinar, in the course of this week or next week, we are going to write to you and ask you to give us your feedback. We really want to hear feedback from you on what we should do better, what you want us to discuss, and how we can make this journey interesting for you. So we started with how to register your business legally. And last week we were discussing, we had a career stagnation. We were looking at stack and board. How do you kickstart your career? So if you missed any of our webinars, they are all uploaded on our YouTube channel, which is Atara Solutions. Kindly catch up and subscribe, leave a comment, like the videos, whatever. Next week, we shall be interviewing an entrepreneur, which is very exciting. I mean, that is one of the reasons we wanted to hear people's journey and how they've been able to run through entrepreneurship. So as always, allow me to remind you, why get it right with the Tara Solutions started? Did you know that 22% of businesses fail in the first year, 30% in the second year, 50% in the fifth year, and 70% do not see their 10th anniversary? So we have to change this narrative. And without further ado, I am honored and privileged to introduce our speaker today. He's Mr. Waweru Njenga, otherwise known as Pastor Wa. I sent out the flyer and people were like, I know Pastor Wa. Oh, Pastor Wa. Yeah, he will tell us how that came about. Anyway, he is the CEO and lead coach at Maiden Coaching, a life coaching and consultancy firm. He is currently publishing his first book, A Dreamer's Dilemma, which is available to pre-order. So we are really excited and looking forward to launching that book here. We invite you, our audience, to ask as many questions as possible, and we shall try to answer as many as we can. And I would like to invite Pastor Wa, or Mr. Waweru. We are dealing with a lot of change. 2020, if there's anything that it has taught us, is our minds have to change. It's not business as usual. Even if we are saying that the economy is coming back, things are going back to normal, I don't think we'll ever go back to fully what we used to do. So help us, how do we manage to do through this change? How do we equip ourselves so that then we are able to progress instead of stagnating?
Yeah. Thank you, Grace. I'm glad to be here and to hang out with you guys. It seems like it's quite a fantastic platform with a lot of good things happening, a lot of giveaways as well. So, That's very good. Yes. I work with Maiden Coaching, which is a consultancy that I began. I've been a career pastor for the last 20 years or so in different places, here in Nairobi, in Malawi, in Uganda. I recently just came back from Kampala, Uganda, about 2 years ago and set up this consultancy. And part of that has been my journey is I'm very passionate about leadership and developing people. And so this sort of was like an outgrowth of that and my desire to continue to impact people, but also because I've really had my life, my career and my life has really been lived in with people face to face. So watching them, developing them, and sort of watching them live their life trajectory. About 10 years, about maybe 12 years ago, I did some training to become a life coach. And so in the course of my life, I kind of watched that become a really, really necessary tool in the lives of people, myself included. And specifically, especially now, right, with this change that has happened. And really, it's not like a change, it certainly is a disruption. That's what I would call it. Our world has completely been upended. Obviously, will not go back to the same. It definitely, we will not be the same. And I think that the systems do change. Our world has been disrupted before. If you look at our history, as people, disruptions have come and they've gone. I mean, way back from back, when there were plagues in the 13th century. The Second World War had a huge impact on. It was the deadliest war in human history. Completely changed the face of the earth. Redefined the value of the human soul, and sort of ushered in a new era for us as well. September 11th, of course, that hugely disrupted our world and introduced a new consciousness in personal security and how we relate with each other. And so it almost feels as this is a new, people call it a new normal, but technically it should just be another normal. Maybe that's what we should call it. And the big thing is it's not just what it does to our outside systems, the things that happen to us, but it's what happens inside of us as a result of that disruptive change that we have to pay attention to, especially if you're going to be successful, if you're going to live a successful life, but also if you're going to do business, if you're going to lead anything. Disruptive change is a given, but your survival is not. Disruptive change will happen, but there's no guarantee that we'll survive unless we consciously begin to take steps to lean forward and to move forward in the right direction. And when that happens, we have to change and people have to adapt. And the reason change is hard, like COVID has introduced change, again, forced really change on us, is because our brains are masters at efficiency. Our brains, every time anything we do an activity, we sort of do something new, our brain immediately files that in our shorter memory. And the reason it files it is so that it's much easier for us to do it. The brain doesn't want to spend a lot of resources trying to figure out a new thing every time. That's why it creates habits, and that's why we're creatures of habit, because it's easy. And so technically in the setup of a change, your brain has a tactical advantage over you, and your brain is trying to preserve you. And so what it does, it pushes you to your place of comfort, which is the things that you've always done, the things that you've always known. And trying to make new steps or create new pathways for yourselves is extremely difficult. And that's why it's interesting, the statistic you were given about how new businesses do not succeed. And a lot of it is because of that, because we're kind of fighting our brain, which is trying to say, but this is what we've known. This is how we've always done it. This is what seems to be working with somebody else or everybody else. And the entrepreneur, the person that's trying to do something new is constantly on an uphill battle. And it's exhausting and it's tiring. And so it's easy for a lot of people to give up. The truth is, to survive, you have to adapt. But to thrive, you have to consistently and successfully adapt forward, okay? So to survive, you have to adapt. But to thrive, really, you have to consistently and successfully adapt forward. That means that you're consciously and aware, you're consciously moving towards change and taking new steps and sort of allowing yourself, becoming comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable. You embrace discomfort. That's how I put it across. You really have to be comfortable with embracing discomfort and dealing with the discomfort of figuring new things afresh, adapting forward, tweaking and changing and transforming your life, your mind, the decisions you're making and the choices that you're making. I've been fortunate to coach people, a lot of my clients who I'm coaching come to me and they say, okay, so I am stuck. That's a big one. Another one is I am not sure I know what to do. I'm frustrated. I I have this job, or I have this career, or I have this business that I'm doing, but I'm very frustrated. And I say, sometimes I say, is it the business? No, the business is doing fine. The job is fine, but they are dissatisfied. And they're at a place was called a life stage crisis. Now, everyone will arrive at some point to a life stage crisis. Most women, it happens at around 32, 33. This is when women will have a career family crisis. Usually it's because, okay, they're thinking about, I need to start a family. What decisions do I need to make that are going to affect my family and my career at the same time? And so they come and they're at a crisis and they want to try and resolve that. Most men will get into a crisis at around the age of 40. So it's late 30s, early 40s. And usually it's they have in one of two places. One is they're extremely dissatisfied with the results they're getting from their lives. The things they're doing, they feel like they're left behind, they are not caught up, and time is quickly slipping by and the opportunities are sort of disappearing. And so they're extremely worried about what is it they need to do to change and catch up. The second place they usually will be at is they'll be at a place where leadership has been thrust upon them. So they either been promoted, the business has grown, some dad has passed away and they've been thrown on this responsibility. Their child just became a teenager or something like that, and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. What do I do? How do I move forward? And so in coaching, one of the things, and it's extremely important that we begin to do, is I have a four-step process that I begin to implement. I want to share with you guys, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be helpful to some of you who might be navigating change or just feeling like, okay, so something needs to give and you don't know what to do. And so the things that I do is, the first thing that I do is I say, you need to navigate change successfully, you need to gain awareness. And to gain awareness is you begin just asking this question: what has changed in my life? What is it that has changed? You have to identify what is it that has changed. And that involves you sitting back and beginning to analyze, okay, so in concrete terms, I've been promoted, or I've just lost my job, or it's just been a big change in my life that has happened, and identify it and name it for what it is. You must gain awareness of what it is that has happened. And you ask yourself, you begin to gain awareness. Now, in my setting right now, in my current situation, who is the custodian of information? For me to understand this, who do I need to talk to? If it's in business, especially now with COVID and people who have sort of faced a disruption and sort of a crisis at this point, is, so who's the custodian of information? Where should I get my information from? Is it the government? Is it emerging markets? Is it technology? But I'm gaining awareness of what's happening. And it's an intentional, deliberate process of beginning to get my awareness about what's going on around me and what's going on inside of me. It's also important for you to get awareness of your emotions, understanding that your emotions will fight you. And so there's a lot of people are worried, stressed. I usually say in my coaching, I coach leaders through what keeps them up at night. And there's some of you who are listening to this, and you are really having a hard time. It's every time 2 a.m. you're up and you're agonizing and you're thinking through the decisions that you need to make, or what has happened. You want to have awareness. You have to dig in and be aware, because you're only as empowered as you are informed. I am only as empowered as I am informed. So gain awareness of your situation, of where you are at internally. Once you understand that, it's the first step in assessing and navigating change. The second step then is you gather your resources. It's amazing how much we do not know what we really have, okay? The question I always ask people is, what do you have? What do you have in terms of investments? What do you have in terms of relationships? What do you have in terms of human resources? What do you have in terms of opportunities? What is your situations? Take stock, take inventory of your life. And it's so important because sometimes when we think of our resources, we only think, to hard resources, maybe investments of cash. But there's such a thing as the investments you have in relationships. This is extremely important because a lot of us, when you're beginning to navigate change, most people will go where there is trust, whether it's new opportunities for you, whether it's new, whether it's new deals that you want to make, whether it's, you want to move, cities, you want to start something new, people will always go where there's trust. And so relationships is a big resource. I usually will say, go through your phone and look through everybody that you have a relationship with. And whether it's family or friends, those are your resources. Take good stock and take good inventory of what you have, because it's going to help you in the next step that I'm going to share. And so once you take an inventory and you've gathered your resources, make sure that you've consolidated them very well and you know what you have. Now this is now when things begin to shift. The third step in your navigating change is you must grow in your decision making. Now, let me say this: the real name to being stuck, the other name of being stuck, when people say I'm stuck, the real name of that condition is called indecisiveness. Your being stuck can only be resolved by making a decision. You get unstuck by making a decision, and you must grow in your ability to make decisions. You have information, when you've created awareness, and then you have gathered resources and you know what you have and what you owe and what's for you and who's for you, then you must use that information and resources to make decisions towards your goals. Because now you understand, this is where I want to go. You've identified where you need to go. Then you have to make decisions. I usually will say to people, make decisions quickly and make them often. Make decisions quickly and make them often. There's a big fear of failure, especially with some of us who've grown in an environment where failure has been punished. If we have childhood tapes, we have situations in our lives where failure came with punishment or with fear or with some sense of retribution to us, then making decisions becomes more complex and because we're afraid. And that only makes the condition worse. And so one of the things to do as you navigate change is begin to make decisions. Make them quickly, make them often. Get information, get awareness, figure out your resources, and make those decisions. If you're in an organization or you're in a company, figure out who are the decision makers, or the people that are needed to make those decisions, and empower them to make decisions. If you're leading a company and you're at a time of transition, it's a time of change, you're navigating through change, you don't always have to be the one to make decisions. You can incorporate those people who bring in the input, the ideas, the support that you need. Deliberate with them, but always leave every situation with a decision, even if it turns out to be a wrong decision. Why? Because with decisions, you have traction, and you can never steer a parked car. You don't want your life to be a parked car, you want to move. So even if you make a wrong decision, once you begin to make them, then you are having traction and you can be able to correct them. The more frequent, quickly, and often you make decisions, the easier it will be for you to correct those decisions and to move forward. And then finally, the fourth step that I say to people that I coach who are navigating through change is grade and upgrade. Okay, grade and upgrade. You have to measure and improve the decisions you're making by analyzing your results. You have to be ruthless about your results. Look at them, analyze them, ask myself, this call I'm making about my business, this call I'm making about who I'm hiring, this call I'm making about my life and about this direction that I want to go. What results am I getting from it? Measure them, and measure them honestly. Even if you, and one of the key things that's important here to note is that your emotions, you have to manage your emotions, because your emotions could play tricks on you. Some of you might be probably in the middle of a change, having to restructure an organization or a business, and you have to let go of people that you really, really love. And you're stuck because, oh, this would be so hard. This person really helped me. But the truth is, the business has gone to a place where the best decision you can ever do for them and for the business is to let them go. And so you want to be able to make that decision. So measure, ask yourself consistently, how am I doing? You're grading and then you're upgrading. You're improving on the decisions. I usually will say people to create a daily, create a weekly, and a monthly review plan that you refuse to negotiate about. You refuse to negotiate about that plan. Every week you have a check. You're testing. You're analyzing your results on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Check. Put in systems that allow you to do that. Drop what doesn't work. Improve on what does, and stick with the new. And so those are the 4 steps. Usually, when you're navigating change, usually will become helpful. I usually will say questions are important for you when you are going through this. And so you can put these 4 points into questions that you ask yourself. So one of them is the first question for, the first point, which is gain awareness. The question you ask yourself there is, what has changed and how does it affect me? What has changed and how does that affect me? Second is, when it comes to gathering resources, the question you ask yourself is, what resources do I have? What resources do I have? What gifts do I have? What talents do I have? How much money do I have? What investments do I have? What resources do I have? The third step is grow in your decision making. And the question that you have to ask yourself is, what decisions must I make? What decisions must I make? Every situation needs a decision. What decisions must I make? And the fourth step, which is grading and upgrading by reviewing, is the question you ask yourself is, who is with me? Who is with me? Because usually change is difficult. And as you go through this, there's a challenge that then you need a support system. You need somebody to come alongside you that helps you to review, to analyze, but also to help you stick with the change that you're making. And that becomes very extremely useful to you. Navigating change is difficult, it's tough, but it's doable. It's been done before, and we can do it if we put into plan this 4-step plan. Usually tends to help and work out well. So thank you.
Excellent. That was really, really good, simple, to the point. There's something that I would like you to probably revisit. The point you said, something to survive something, and then to thrive, you have to consistently adopt forward. What was the first part?
To survive is to adapt.
To survive is to adapt.
To thrive is to consistently and successfully adapt forward.
Okay, so to survive is to adopt, but to thrive, you have to be consistent.
You have to be yes.
And successfully moving forward.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
I really, really like that.
Yeah.
I really, really like that.
And the reason is because you can survive. There's a lot of people who are surviving. There are a lot of businesses who are surviving. The goal is not to survive. The goal is to thrive. If you're surviving, you want to move to a place where you're thriving. But then to do that, you have to be consistent in your how you're adapting, and you have to successfully adapt forward. That means you're making traction towards the right, becoming the right person, the right business, the right institution. That's what you want. And so for that, you have to consistently move forward. This is why the epidemic of being stuck, we have to be ruthless about being stuck. Yeah. You cannot afford to be okay with being stuck, because it's indecision and you're not moving forward and you're not making any progress. So, and we constantly have to do it. We constantly have to do it.
I like that because we had this discussion last week. We were talking about being stuck and bored. And we had quite a number of our audience who were feeling like, how do I move on from my career at this point? There are some who are stuck in terms of, I am tired of being employed. I want to go and do my own thing.
Yeah.
They are not even looking for jobs, but they're scared. By the way, Waweru, how do we deal with fear?
You make a decision.
Straight up.
You always, this third point is probably the most critical one that everybody has to understand. You have to make a decision. If you do not make a decision, and indecision is a decision. That's what they say.
Yeah.
The reason you make a decision is because you commit. When you commit, you give up the power to control the situation by not doing anything. Now you're forced to do something about it. And so I usually will say people who are stuck, bored and stuck in their work, there's two things I tell them to do. Number one, I tell them to write their resignation letter and send it to me.
Okay.
And number two, I ask them to write for me a blueprint of what their life would look like if they got fired today. And then I ask them, the next time I say, what are you going to do? What decision are you going to make? And you're going to commit, because if you're going to chase a business, you're going to start a business, then you need to leave what you're doing right now. If you're bored, you're not doing your current employer any good. You're kind of just checking in there and you've checked out already. Well, then leave. And jump over here and start this thing that you sense that you want to start.
But
and
most
a lot
of
of
them,
times, go ahead.
Yeah, just finish.
And so for most people, it's that commitment to their dreams and to their goals that pushes them to become successful.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was going to say sometimes, like there's a lady I was engaging with on Wednesday who was telling me, I followed your show yesterday and I am stuck because I don't hate my current employer. I do not want to go into employment, but I am so scared because first of all, I'm scared of being broke.
Yeah.
Number two, I am scared because everyone says that entrepreneurship is such a hard thing.
Yeah.
And so I probed further, and she says, I have a house, I have a mortgage-free house. My last born is 23 years, so I'm done with college payment. My firstborn is working and all that. So I'm like, okay, what is this monster called change?
Yeah.
Because
those people, and there are many, and there actually, I know there are some on the call today who are there. You will have a life stage crisis. You can only postpone the inevitable so far. The reason, here's what I say to people. When you have restlessness in your life, when you have that sense that I need to be about something else, that's a blueprint that you need to honor, and you honor it by making hard decisions to follow it. The way you get fulfilled, it's not because you made a lot of money or you became extremely successful. It's because you honored those urges and the blueprint that you have inside of you. And if the blueprint you're sensing is, I need to leave my constant, I need to start something, then by all means, go ahead and do it. The one thing people have and I think employment and a constant salary tends to lie to us, is that money is very hard to make. Let me tell you, money is the easiest thing to make.
Preach.
Money is the easiest thing to make. You can make money as long as, because all you need really is a customer to make money. That's it. You just need to create a customer. If you can create a customer, you will make money. And then you just scale that and you grow the money. The real test in life is pegging the two, those inner dreams and the blueprint we sense inside of ourselves, and attaching it to create an income that you can enjoy. You have two things: you're both making money, but also you're living fulfilled. You go to bed and you sleep with a big smile on your face and a sense of fulfillment. And you get to the end of your life and you say, okay, so this is I enjoyed my life.
And fulfilled your purpose.
You did. You fulfilled your purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw somebody ask a question. How do you create a customer?
Yeah. Yes.
You find a need.
Yeah.
You find a need. A customer is simply a need.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a product, if you have an answer, you simply solve a problem. Solve a problem for someone. You will be paid for it. In fact, for some people, it actually just happens by accident. There's a lot that has, for me, even coaching. So I had people who, a lot of my clients, and I wasn't coaching as seriously as I do now. And the way it started was because 4 people, I coached someone and they came to me and they said, could you please coach me again? I'm going through this, I need your help. And so I sat down and they said, and they just said, okay, and this is what I'm going to pay. And coaching is expensive, but they paid it anyway. And when COVID happened, in 1 week, I had 4 people call me, and this is literally from across the world, and they say, can you please coach me? Can I get some coaching? Mm-hmm. What had happened was, because of this forced change that has come upon us, people were in crisis and they needed somebody they could trust, somebody that was that knew what they were doing, somebody that was well trained, somebody that had the tools to help them. And I had those things. Mm-hmm. And they would, and so just they became my customers. Somebody was asking about, they became my customers or my clients. And I met, and because I was meeting their need. So you find a need, you meet the need, and you will have a customer.
Excellent. I'm laughing at the survive and thrive because my mentor has been telling me the point is not to survive, the point is to thrive. Please.
That's right. That's right.
And you create customers by not surviving, by thriving in what you do, and they'll come looking.
They will.
Yeah. If they think that you're solving their problems, they'll come looking. So sometimes it's never as hard as we try to think. So our audience, karibuni sana, you can ask all the questions you have, and Mr. Waweru will answer. Jared Odido is asking, is it okay not to be a success at everything that you do?
So one of the things I encourage people to do is you have to define success ahead of time. You have to define it. Define for yourself what success is from the get-go, because for different people, it will always be different. There are people who are happy to set up a corner shop and have a little, sell to the village and everybody get their needs met, and they don't have big and lofty ambitions, and that's well and good. If they achieve that, they're successful, and you can't knock them for that. There's somebody else that wants to conquer the world, and that's what they're going to measure themselves by. I think everybody needs to measure themselves by that. The greatest indicator, though, is that you are fulfilled and you feel that you're fulfilling your own sense of purpose and why you're around. If it gives you joy and gives other people joy and you feel fulfilled, I usually say you're pretty successful, whether other people deem you successful
or not. Okay, excellent answer. So Waweru has told us, I was noting down the points, and he said, thank you very much, Lillian Gala, for your support. Lillian has actually added something. Fear is equals to face everything and rise.
That's right. That is right. Yes.
Yes. That is from Lillian Gala. And Pastor Wa has told us today that there are 4 steps to navigating change. The first one is gain awareness. You must name the change for what it is, and you must know who is the custodian of the information and understand your emotions. And allow me to just ask about the emotions, because I think this is the main, the reason we are stuck is because of the emotions, right?
Yes.
Most of it because...
When we enter into change, our emotions usually will rise up. Now, remember that when you're in a state of heightened emotion, people make life-changing decisions. And the reason you want to manage your emotions and identify how you're feeling in relation to what, where you are, the decisions you need to make, is because if you are in a state of constant negative emotion, you're not going to be successful, and things will not turn out well, because you will always take decisions to protect yourself. You'll always take decisions to preserve yourself. And when you're changing, you're not necessarily trying to preserve yourself. You're trying to make progress into another stage. Meanwhile, preserving yourself is about staying where you are and maintaining what you have. And that's not a pleasant place to be at. And so that's why it's extremely important that you manage your emotions. And you make sure that you're moving forward. I want to say something about thriving as well here in relation to that. The reason you want to not be stuck and you want to make progress and move forward is because if you're stuck in survival mode, most people, if you stay in survival mode for so long, most people become bitter and they become resentful. You can become bitter and resentful. And you can have a great business, you can have a great life, you can have a great career, but because you're stuck and it's not enjoyable anymore, and you're not thriving, you can become bitter and resentful. And so that's why it's important for us to manage our emotions. Say, you know what, hey, this is difficult, but I need to move to the next thing. I need to improve my life. I need to improve my business. I need to improve my responsibilities. I need to become a better person. I need to grow myself. And that becomes sort of like your driving factor, because you do not want to be stuck in a loop of negative emotion.
Now, in terms of being stuck and the emotions and probably just in the areas of managing change, we have entrepreneurs who probably have been running the businesses for about 10 years and they're tired.
Yeah.
And first of all, they don't want to give it up because.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their probably
dream.
source of income, it's their dream, it's their baby. And then, however, what they would want to move into, what they think is what they enjoy, is totally different from what they're currently doing. Okay. Right. So how is it safe to use the same 4 steps to get through the same, I mean, to go to what, to like change, I mean, steer the boat in a different direction?
Yes, absolutely. I really strongly recommend them to do that, because if you're not, usually you will get to that place because you somehow have not successfully and consistently adapted forward. So if you're not, this is why I say, if you're not making money, if your business is not growing, if things are not changing, if you're stuck in the same place for longer than 3 years, then you need to make it a crisis. You initiate the crisis. And so it's a problem. We're not making money. What is going on? So we sit, we gain awareness. We say, okay, what do we need to know? Okay, what am I missing? Why isn't the business growing? Why aren't we, why isn't it expanding? Is it me? Is it my staff? Is it the environment? Then we gather resources. What do we have? And then we start to make some decisions. We're going to make some big decisions. And some of those some of those decisions can be scary. Sometimes those decisions might mean that we close shop. Some of these decisions, we invite external help. Sometimes we need to fire people. Sometimes we need to change lifestyles. I mean, we sort of sit around and say, okay, so these are our options, and this is what we're going to take, and then commit to them consistently. Then we begin to evaluate, and then consistently commit to them until we begin to see the change that we're looking for come to pass. It's really, here's what I say to people: the worst place is to feel stuck. It's really to feel like when you feel you have no way out of your current situation, you really do. You have to fight that. That's the reason why people kill themselves, is they really feel I have no other option. I have no way out. And so as an entrepreneur, as a person in business, refuse to get there. And you do that by you create a crisis. In business, in psychology, they call it you create an inflection point in leadership psychology. You create an inflection point where the energy, if you feel the energy of the organization or the business is kind of stagnating, you trigger a series of events that sort of inflect the energy up. And so you begin to make certain decisions that cause you to relook at the business, to infuse new energy, and whether that means inviting external help or whatever it is that needs to do, but it's something that you do so you do not get stuck.
Excellent, excellent. I like that. Elizabeth Njao is saying, change, be it personal or organizational, that is OCD, is at times not well received. However, it's important to keep a positive attitude and make decisions to thrive, grow, and develop yourself and the organization. Thank you very much for that contribution, Elizabeth. So the next question is from Monique Mukayangi, who is asking, how can I initiate a crisis as an individual and not get to a point of stress or depression?
Okay, so what you want to do is, again, just follow the 4 steps. Gain awareness. You gain awareness, you look at your resources, you look at where you want to go, and then you make a decision towards that. And what really is, you commit yourself to something. Making a decision is committing yourself to something. So on a personal front, some people will sign up for school, go back to school. Some people will quit a job or change jobs. Some people will invite different stakeholders into their business, if it's in business. If it's in relationships, some people will exit a relationship and begin another one. And that's what it is you individually, in your own personal life, you want to make sure that you're in a state of constant motion. You don't get stuck. And the way to do that is to make these decisions. You analyze, you look where you want to go, and then you make a decision that commits you to progress. A decision that commits you to progress. That's very helpful.
Yeah. Wow. Quite enlightening, quite insightful. So as promised, we have our winners for this evening. I can see it's already 11:50. And so before we allow Mr. Waweru to answer a few more questions, we have giveaways from Soilex. We have a gift hamper from Soilex. And then we have a giveaway from JC Beauty. So keep it locked for any potential, to be a potential winner. So, and Waweru, you've gone?
No, I'm here.
Okay, so yeah, so the other question that would come in when you're trying to manage change is how patient do you need to be? You make decisions. Success is not instant. So How do we manage the transition?
Step 4, grade and upgrade. You have to constantly measure and improve the decisions you're making by ruthlessly analyzing your results.
Okay.
Your results have to be analyzed. If for example, your business, you're changing your suppliers, you have to analyze the results. What results were we getting before? What results are we getting now? That's why you have to create a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly review plan that you stick to, and you have to be ruthless about it. And if you're in business, you have to teach your team. That's why that's how we analyze. We used to do this. I used to do this when I would go and start churches, and was my career. And people would think, pastors just stand up and preach. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a very deliberate process. We would review every detail. We would review the attendance, the Sunday attendance. We would review the weekly small group attendance. We would review our giving. We would count the offerings and review them. We would review our children's ministry. We would sit, Tuesday was my meeting day with my staff, and we would meet from 8 a.m. to about 5 p.m. And we're just analyzing, we're talking, we feedback what's going on, because the results we're getting would tell us something. They would tell us that our people are in pain. They would tell us, our people are struggling. We need to teach on this, or we need to do this ministry. We need to reach out to people in certain ways. Our small groups are not growing. Why aren't they growing? What's happening? People are not being cared for, and so on and so forth. And in so doing, we would relentlessly track that. And they really, really helped us manage, especially when we would have changes and transitions in our church. You have to measure. Measuring will always, if you have a good measuring system, because numbers will never lie. They will, results never lie. They tell a story. And so you want to be able to be honest in your measuring, and then constantly improving the results that you're
getting. So I like the measuring and analyzing and looking at things objectively, not subjectively. So Louisa is asking, I'm in the service industry. My customer base is growing, but I don't seem to be making any money in terms of cash flow. I find myself constantly injecting cash back into the business with very little left for myself. Not sure what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. So if you're, especially for people in the service industry, if you're not making money, well, that's terrible for business. But you're either charging too little, okay, or your overheads are too high. Now, usually, create a good service, a good product, and charge accordingly to it. Find out what your profit margins need to look like, and then charge that. And do not be afraid to ask for what you're worth, or what your product is worth. If you need to increase your price, look at the factors, look at what you're offering, and increase it accordingly. If you need to manage costs, go ahead and do that. But do not get into the trap of injecting your money into the business when technically you should be getting, and the business is running, which means it's supposed to be giving you something. It needs to pay you something back. And the reason, again, this is one of those things, again, I say you make it a crisis, because if it continues for long, have you seen people who are very disappointed, angry at their businesses? You can't be angry and really disappointed at and resentful of your customers or the businesses because it's not paying me. I find that once you know the value that you're offering, it's important for you to charge accordingly. And don't be afraid to ask for more if you need to ask for more. People will always honor an honest bill if you're giving a good product and you're doing it to keep the business going. So
this is where we say, okay, in not coaching terms, in the other business world, we say reevaluate your strategy.
Right.
Yeah,
reevaluate your strategy.
Yeah, reevaluate your strategy and see what is not working and what you can do, like you're charging, and is it your credit policy that is a problem, or is it your customers? Are you with the right customers? Are you speaking to the right audience? So that is what we say. So it's 8:57 and it's time to announce our winner for the night. The first giveaway goes to Monica Karanja. Monica Karanja subscribed to our YouTube channel as the first person immediately after the last session. So Monica Karanja, you get a gift hamper from Soilex ProSov Limited. Soilex is a cleaning, they offer cleaning solutions. So if you're looking for detergents, stain removers, machine wash, anything that is used for cleaning, Soilex are your people. If you're actually running a cleaning company, they also train your people on how to clean and how to use detergents. So that is value add for them. If you're running a laundry, Soilex are the guys for you. So Monica Karanja, please get in touch with me. Monica Karanja, get in touch with me to claim your prize from Soilex ProSov Limited. So next week, because we have an entrepreneur, that is when we are going to also give away the gift from Wild International, the Scalarizer program. That is a program even I wish I would take, but well, I hope to at some point. We never get tired of learning, and I'm hoping that when Pastor Waweru's book gets published, the first book will go to our audience.
Well, yeah, they probably need to pre-order. We have people pre-ordering, so
yes.
Definitely.
So yeah, so thank you very much. So I need Catherine and Which need to get in touch with me this week so that they can also get a chance to claim their prize. And I don't think there's a question that we haven't answered. I think today people have been soaking in wisdom and knowledge. You have really simplified this, and I am excited. I am really hoping that we've answered a lot of the questions, because most of them now came from the discussion we had last week on being stuck and career stagnation, because entrepreneurs and employees all at some point get stuck.
Yeah.
So, and they need to stop surviving and start thriving.
Move to thriving. Exactly.
Yes.
That's what we want. That's
excellent.
What we want. Well,
excellent.
I'm glad to be here and to support in every way I can. It's a tough journey, but it can be done, and it can be done successfully. So yes.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a coach or a mentor to work with you through the journey to navigating the change, I know a lot of us have gotten, some people have gotten redundancies. We have people losing jobs. We have people who are being moved from department, from countries to another country. A lot of transfers, a lot of restructuring, a lot of working from home, and maybe as ingine you're working from the office. There's just too much happening at the same time. Mara schools are opening, Mara they are not. You know, there's just a lot of change that we are dealing with right now. And we are glad that you have given us a way to do this. And if you're looking for professional help, you can always get in touch. I think he can send me some write-up of something that I can share with you, our audience, in the email, in a follow-up email later. So thank you very much, Waweru Njenga. That was a very informative session brought to you by Atara Solutions and in partnership with Zalego Academy. Thank you very much, Mr. Waweru of Maiden Coaching. I think this was really, really good. It was intense. So asante sana. I personally have learned. So thank you, Zalego Academy, our IT partners. Thank you, Serenity Studios, for the videos. Thank you, Balcon Housing, Good Fortune Twins, JC Beauty, Wild International, Pearl Radio, Sorel Laundry, Tanus Kitchen, Career Management Center, Shitty Naturals for the giveaways. Special thanks to Simon Washira of Think Out Limited, a strategy and communications company. Alex Mwangi, our legal expert. Asante Nisana. Thank you very much, our audience, for tuning in tonight. It's always a pleasure. Do not forget to tune in to Pearl Radio 96.9 FM in Nairobi. By the way, Tungaji, have you heard of that one?
I haven't.
It's called Pearl Radio 96.9.
I should check them out.
Yes, you should. It's actually, I love their music. They are playing really good music. It's a Christian radio station, so
you can. Great. I'll check them out.
You can check them out. And then, so my name is Grace Nzula. I am a trainer and HR consultant with the Atara Solutions, and I have been your host. Please do not forget to like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment. We're going to upload this conversation with Mr. Waweru on the YouTube. Kindly subscribe, leave a comment, or like the video or something. Atara Solutions. Next week, we shall see you at same time, same place, as we hear from a person who is running a business currently. They're going to share with us their journey so that we can learn from them and they can encourage us to do better. So thank you very much, and it's always a pleasure. Okay, so someone is saying their problem was instant decision making. So you need to review, measure, and analyze. I have even become a teacher.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So if you're saying thank you made it sound easy while it's not, it's true mastery. I agree. It sounds so easy, but until you start doing so. Thank you for the information. That's food for thought. That's from Stella. And thank you very much, our audience. It's always a pleasure having you. And from us, it's good night.